Haley Moet. Welcome to Fearful Symmetry, our epilogue episode, wrapping up our campaign with the last couple of threads for our characters. I'm your DM, Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angels saga and the Books of the Usurper. I'm very excited to be here today, closing out my very first campaign. Real excited, real glad to be here with these people. I'm also glad to send a big old thank you to our subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. It helps us make cool shows like this one, and it reminds us that you are out there and you care, and we really appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, one, you don't have to watch the ads that Twitch makes us roll, which is a great benefit, and you have access to an expanded list of our really cute owlbear emotes. So even if you didn't want to support us, wouldn't it be cool to get those? Maybe. All right, I'm gonna let my players introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I play Artemisia, and I write urban fantasy is Rhiannon Held, and space opera is RZ Held. And I have our two dice partners to tell you about. Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. You can find their dice and accessories at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials. You can find their dice and accessories at phoenixdice.com. Or you can type !ticket into the chat to win one set of your choice shipped anywhere in the world. So type !ticket into the chat to enter, and then we will draw the winner at the end of the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Yang Yang Wang, and I play Stonk Matt Guck, the barrel-chested, barrel-wearing, very hairy heir to the Murder Bear tribe. Tonight, I would normally pass it over to Steven, but as you see, Sturge is making the world's best stealth check. So stealthy that he's not even here for the stream. They're real life
or
things
is he?
that are taking him away. Yeah, and we'll see if he'll pop in later on today, but nobody knows. Trevor.
Fortunately, Sturge got a nice landing list episode, so
Hey, I'm Trevor Bettis. I'm the writer for Owl Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and I'm playing Florin Morin, who is 100% a warlock. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Owl Champions of the Forgotten Realms because they're a sponsor of the show. Owl Champions is a free-to-play formation strategy game that lets you have all of your favorite characters from lore, video games, streams, all that fun stuff. And actually, a couple of our C&E rituals, one of which I may have made and one of which Aaron may have made. So, hey, there's that. Put them into a formation and go on adventures across the Forgotten Realms. You can download them pretty much everywhere. And if you put in !mark code into the chat, you'll get a code to put into the game to get a free Electrum chest to get some goodies for your champions and to have fun playing. There we go.
Hey, before we start, real quick, I'm going to restart the dice giveaway because I saw that it was for subscribers only for some reason, but it should not be subscribers only. So if you entered previously, just enter again.
Okay, so last session, these guys went up against the occluded one, the Shadow of Sturge, trying to defeat his godlike other and claim the splinter of godhood known as the Crown of Cyric. After a lot of brutal fighting, one NPC death, and a whole bunch of soul searching, they managed to seize hold of the splinter, to defeat the occluded one, seize the splinter, and tell the plane of the world beyond the Pale Door that it did not belong to Pale Knight. And was forever separated from the Demon Lord to determine its own fate. So they have successfully saved the demi-plane, which is really, really wonderful. Sturge remained behind to seek seek answers to his past and seek a destiny in that world. And the rest of you have returned to the world you know, bringing with you Ilya. So my assumption is you will return to Waterdeep where you left originally. You come out in the basement of that noble house and it's a mess, but the fight that was happening here is gone. Whether those cultists and Fringe Gentarum, let's say, have left or died or gone to their gods, who knows, but they're not here anymore. The Pale Door sits there with its carvings, its strange face-like shapes, but it does not whisper, and the glass is dull. Ilya goes up and knocks on it. He's like, "This is the thing you came through?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a creepy piece of shit, isn't it?"
Well, especially
Yeah.
when everybody's like fighting and distracting you.
I hadn't noticed all the faces, if I'm being honest.
All right. So you have a couple goals here, right? You know that Shadow Lorcan, the shadow of Lorcan, Florin's father, escaped into this world somewhere, and you need to find him. You also, I know Stong wants to go check up on his daughter. And Mia, what is it that you're thinking of doing now?
Well, so it seems weird to like come home and then immediately go back, but like it's really on her mind that the Shadow Artemisia doesn't know what happened to her kids. Like that's super bothering her. Like presumably her
Oh.
kids are gone now, or maybe they're not, and they should be.
Yeah, they were fully demons. So, yeah. All right. So, it sounds like Stong, you want to kind of go back to Westgate, touch base. Mia, you're gonna want to kind of sort things out and then head back into the world beyond the pale door. And Florin, you're gonna want to tap into your Harper contacts and see if you can find
Dad,
Lorcan.
not dad. Yep.
Dad, not dad. Yeah. All right. So, the way I think we should do this, we should go back to Westgate first, and then we can see about going, Mia getting to sort of figure out what's going on with her shadow, and by then, I believe you will be able to find Shadow Lorcan. Okay, so, Stong. The fastest way back to Westgate is probably to take the witch hut. Or unless you want to use some teleportation, some kind of teleportation magic. How fast do you want to get back?
Well, if other people want to come back with me, I could always summon the Pegasus and we could fly.
That's true.
Or, yeah, if nobody else wants to come back with me, that's also an option too. But if everybody wanted to come, that would be a problem. So, Artemisia, Florin, are you guys okay hanging around here while I go pop into Westgate?
I mean, I got people looking for Shadow Lorcan. I guess it doesn't particularly matter where I am, but
Do you want support, Stong?
yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to come along, like certainly that'd be cool. But I always love having you with me.
I mean, we could.
Okay,
It's been
everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
It's been a little while since I've seen my baby girl, and I mean, I am a little nervous. So
I am
maybe the
curious what
support
to
is
see
nice.
not dragging her looks like, so.
Well, and there's weird stuff with Briarhouse and teleportation in Artemisia. So if we like start a teleportation spell, Artemisia can like let Briarhouse hijack it. And then we go straight to Briarhouse.
Ooh.
If the
Oh,
DM says
yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, I think that could be okay. I know that, based on certain books, there are public teleportation circles in Waterdeep that you can use for a price. The main one goes from Waterdeep to Suzail, which is just north of Westgate. You could do that and then travel, or you could hijack it and bounce to Briar House. I think that seems reasonable using the rune that is etched on your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you can't take the witch house through. So Cecilia is gonna have to like take it back. She's like, I have to go get Sarsen anyway. And she'll take Ilya with her because he's very interested. You go back to the witch house and he's like climbing up the leg and like looking at the joists. And he's like, do you know that is like an entanglement on this bit? That is probably the thing that's making it be kind of ornery. She's like, don't touch my house.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will both make it back. Okay,
Not just one of them.
one of them. Cecilia comes back. You're like, "Where's Ilya?" And she's like, "Where's who?" All right, so you go to the teleportation circle. This is in what was possibly a temple from before the spell plague. It has that feel of like a renovated church, basically. There's cracks in the floor. There's sort of paintings of gods and or just really impressive looking people in pastoral scenes that are sort of blocked off by crates and things. You have to wait in line, but you do get to the front. You hand over your gold, and you can teleport to Suzail. But with the power of the rune on Artemisia's hand, you're pulled away from the capital city of Cormyr and into Briar House. And Artemisia, since this house is very close to you, could you describe Briar House, where you guys land?
So we land in sort of the front hall, and it's very sort of like Beauty and the Beast Disney staircase, leading up to the upper floor, and beautiful wood floorboards and paneling and tasteful decoration. And this is very sort of like showy, and it's in Artemisia's colors, but it's not really speaking to Artemisia's personality necessarily. But she goes immediately and like puts her hand on the banister and is like she's gonna like pet a cat or something like that. She's very happy to be home.
Okay, so you've landed, you're in this space, and what do you want to do?
Oh, it's been a long time since we've been back in Westgate. It's kind of nice.
I miss Briar House when we're gone.
Yeah, you must. Do you want to take a little bit of time with Briar House? And you could just come by my apartment whenever you're done?
Did you still have the apartment, or were you living in Briar House? This is Rhiannon asking.
I had the apartment.
Okay. Do you want to live here because there's space?
Oh, yeah. If you just give me like 4 rooms next to each other, I can just knock down the walls and form one large room. Because we're going to need a lot of space.
Well, I think that on the upper floor, there you don't need to knock down walls. I'll see. Like I'll go up and like look around upstairs and then see what kind of space I can find for you.
Because, it's me, Mirabelle, Shiny sometimes comes by, Nala and her kids, and they always want to brawl and get up to something. So we need the room for all their toys.
Oh, that's why I'm remembering why we had the apartment now.
Artemisia, make a charisma check to see if you can hide this horror.
So when do we move in, Artemisia? I can't wait to tell them.
All right, let's see. 7. She's bad at hiding the horror.
Yeah, you could tell she's regretting that she offered. In this awkward moment, there is a knock on the door.
Oh, well, Artemisia's going to answer, seeing if she's home.
Okay, you open the door and you find a human man in armor that is a little less polished than you're used to. He's got, I don't totally remember what he looks like. He's got brown hair, handsome. He is holding a small tiefling girl on his hip, and he looks very harried. He says, "Oh, Artemisia, I'm so glad. I've been at Stong's apartment, but it's empty.
Oh my god! Stong just wants to barrel right through, like, not knock out Artemisia out of the way, like he's gonna go around.
No,
her.
Florin's just on the floor.
Yeah,
because
just pick up.
This is Shiny.
Yeah, pick up both the knight, Shiny, in his arms, full plate, everything, and Mirabelle at the same time, and just like pick them up, give them a great big hug, and like whirl them around the room.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
Yes, it's so good to see you too. Oh my goodness, hi.
Mirabelle grabs on, she's like clinging on your hair. She's like, "Daddy
Mirabelle, my little daughter, my little girl. And he's going to actually like just, how you would normally like throw a little girl up to, catch her after a little bit, but he's going to do it to both like Shiny and her, because Shiny's like holding Mirabelle.
He's just like, oh, okay.
That is a much more reasonable sized daughter.
Oh, I'm so glad to found you. I'm sorry. And he kind of holds his hand out very formally to Slor, and he's like, I'm Sir Adrian Corvetto. I'm friends with Stong, co-parents.
Hey, I'm Florin Morin. I'm Mia's boyfriend.
Oh. He kind of looks at Stong. He's like, what's wrong with him?
Oddly enough, nothing.
Good for you two. Would you mind if I just borrowed Stong for a minute?
Of course. Shall I
here.
take Mirabelle? Yeah.
Yes, here. We're gonna have some grown-up talk, sweetie.
Yeah,
He's like,
spend some time
"Okay."
with your auntie.
She looks at Mirabelle. She's like, I burned down a whole tree on the way here.
I bet you did.
It was ashes and everything, nothing else.
Is she being serious or is that playing?
She looks at you and she
so
goes,
proud.
and her hands like erupt in flame. You ever seen a toddler do burning hands?
Oh God.
Now.
Oh God.
Preschooler.
Okay.
She's probably more like preschooler now. So Shiny pulls you into the parlor, and Stong, make me an insight check.
Inside, okay. That is going to be a 21.
Oh man, okay. You know Shiny. You've known Shiny a long time. You've come a long way. And, initially there was a lot of tension between you two. Like you weren't sure you liked this guy, but you've bonded over Mirabelle. You've had your squabbles about how to raise her, and you have never seen him looking so harried, so sad, so just worn down. Like so much has happened. I know that I was supposed to take Mirabelle longer. We were traveling. It was wonderful, and I'm sorry to come back so fast. You needed a break. It was my turn, but I needed someone to talk to, and I missed you.
Oh, well, I missed you too. I wanted to know how Mirabelle took up with knight errantry. Was she a good little knight?
She was fantastic. She is very good at following rules. I don't know if you knew that.
What?
I know.
Our Mirabelle?
When you give her the right framing, she's very into it.
Really?
Writing out against monsters, going back and reporting in what happened. Still sometimes the extraneous burning, but for her age, I think she's doing really well. And okay, I should have come back, and I should have told you bringing someone else into our arrangement, but I met somebody. Yeah.
Stong wants to put like a reassuring hand on Adrian's shoulder, but maybe when he does so something that Stong always noticed about Adrian in the past was that he was a bit of a, stiff-necked knight, and his armor he was like never seen without that plate suit on. But maybe Stong notices that like it looks cleaner than he's used to, and maybe Adrian's skin looks a little cleaner, as if he'd taken off his suit of armor more regularly.
It does look a little. I mentioned when he came in, it doesn't look as shiny as usual. Like maybe he's not taking as good a care of himself. But you do notice something, which is that the straps, he's got it on a different hole. The buckles have changed. You've never seen those buckles change. He has definitely taken this off and put it back on, maybe like a little tighter than before.
Whoa.
He has taken his armor off, for sure.
So Stong's gonna digest that bit of information, and it's gonna make him like take a step back, and he's gonna like openly look at the class now and make sure that Adrian like notices, and he wants to say, "Oh, so it's a special someone, a real special someone."
Yes, I got married.
Congratulations.
Well, it doesn't end terribly well.
My condolences.
She left. She just disappeared in the middle of the night a few days ago, and she left a note that said, "This was never going to work out, and I'm free to go about my business. Don't seek her out. Really don't seek her out. That would be a big problem." And yeah, I just never had that happen to me before. I've never opened up to someone and then been thrown away like that.
Are you sure she wasn't kidnapped? Because that kind of
That's what I thought. But she took everything of hers with her. Not just the valuables, but also the ordinary things. Her comb, her weaponry, her strange sigil that she carried with her everywhere.
Oh, what kind of sigil?
Well,
What
it
did
looked
it look
like a scourge, but a scourge with like 9 tails made of copper.
Oh, Storm's gonna scratch the back of his neck.
Yeah. Stong, do you remember what Glasha told you about Shiny's wife?
I think a bit, but I think it's better if you recap it for the viewers.
Yeah, Stong, you when he says that, he says that, you recognize that this is very similar to the mark on the back of your neck. You remember Glasha telling you that Shiny's wife was one of hers. You remember that Glasha commands succubi, and that probably this was what Shiny had married into. You also know that your deal with Glasha was that original deal was if you did the mission into the abyss and you secured the emerald hourglass for her, she would leave Shiny and Mirabelle alone. That only when Mirabelle sought her out would she answer. But she wouldn't mess with them anymore. And part of what made you ask for this was knowing that Shiny was being deceived, you felt, by a succubus and perhaps controlled. And now he seems very, very lost. Very sad that he's lost this love of his life.
Hmm.
But you think that might mean that Glasha held up her end of the bargain? At least?
Yeah, so Adrian, I'm
Yes.
gonna level with you. I think your wife left because of me.
What?
Wait.
How could
Let
you
me-
do this to me?
Wait. Let me start it over. I think your wife was a succubus commanded by a
Excuse me!
princess of hell
You
who
haven't even
had it
met
out
her.
for us.
She
And
was
so she was sent
noble
as a
and
punishment or a
beautiful woman.
manipulative tactic.
I just don't even know how to
I'm
take
sorry
this
to
right
tell
now.
you, but the love of your life is actually solely anchored on the Westgate Irregulars and not, it's because of us.
Say this to me right now.
So the fact that she left you alone is actually good because at the end of the day, we fulfilled our end of the bargain, and so now she's no longer a hidden threat waiting to take off your armor and kill you while you're vulnerable in your sleep.
That woman was the best thing that happened to me after Mirabelle.
So you really can roll an insight check,
Yeah.
and I want to know, does he really love her, or is it manic, kind of almost magical? Like, have I seen or heard of succubus's magic occurring, and is this more natural than that?
Okay.
13.
13. You have never seen Shiny in love. And so this is hard to watch because this is Shiny acting different. You do know that Glasha insisted that she didn't do anything to Shiny, that she just gave him everything he wanted. Which was not enough for you. That did not sound great. But it doesn't sound like Adrian whether he's under some sort of control or whether he was sort of fed a story that really hit the spot, it's hard to say. But the abrupt truth is not hitting right. He's pretty pissed.
Adrian, I wouldn't lie to you, but I want to ask you, even knowing that she's a succubus and that everything that you experienced might have been like a complete manipulation, do you feel like you really love her?
I reject the premise of the question. How come you think I can't tell a succubus?
Could you tell
my
she was a
beloved.
succubus?
You just walk around checking to see if women are succubuses. That is incredibly inappropriate.
I mean, that's fair. That's
Not
fair.
befitting a knight.
That's true. Well, I'm sorry that you went through this, bud. And I'm sorry that you got hurt because of it. If on one hand I could help you get over it. We could drink and carouse, and I could go out and introduce you to all sorts of other devil women if you want. Or if you feel like you really want to, get a face-to-face with this succubus, we could go find her out.
Could you stop calling her a succubus?
Oh, I'm sorry. We could go find your ex-wife, and you can have some closure, maybe. It's not fair of her to just leave you a really long letter and just, vanish in the middle of the night.
Thank you. I'm sorry I lost my temper.
It's okay.
You are a good friend, Stong. And I'm sorry I said she was the best thing to happen to me since Mirabelle, because I think that knowing you has been the best thing since Mirabelle.
Oh, I'm
And
glad
then, my sweet Sismita.
That's her name, huh?
Yes.
Well,
But I think it best that I honor her wishes. So perhaps I should just take you up on the offer of drinking and carousing. But do not call her a succubus again, please.
Whatever you want, my deluded friend, but whatever will help you get over this. So, all right, let's get on to the carousing.
Okay.
This whole time, by the way, to distract Mirabelle, like Florin's just been doing the tossing thing, like trying to just keep her distracted. I just imagine that the fire resistance is coming in really handy right now.
Yeah. She's loving it. She's loving it because usually she gets told no and turned around, but she can see her face and she goes right towards you.
Yeah,
So
only
Artemisia-
sings a little.
Watched with like really big eyes at first, but then like she's sort of like she's leaning on the banister, got her hand on it. She's kind of like white knuckles, because you can sort of see in her head like she's imagining like a little tiefling kid.
Oh.
Florin's
baby
just
fever.
trying to like distract the child so she doesn't see the two arguing.
Are you a new uncle? I have a lot of uncles and aunties.
That is a complicated question. Maybe?
I have complicated uncles and aunties. They give
Oh,
me
okay.
presents.
Oh,
The ones I love best anyway.
Is it
Okay.
your birthday?
Yes.
insight check. I only got an 11.
You have no idea. Here's the thing.
Is it her
kids-
birthday?
Kids that age, when they lie, it's not because they're being deceptive. It's because they're telling you what they wish were true.
Mm,
So clearly Mirabelle does want it to be her birthday. Is it her birthday? Does she know when her birthday is?
And then
There's-
Cece gave me a shift.
And she pulls out a little like buff.
oh my
Of course she
god.
did.
Okay. I'm just gonna give you to your auntie.
Well, actually, like to point out now that she's even a little bit older, Artemisia can't actually like hold her. Her strength isn't good enough. So like she puts her down on her feet and like holds her hand.
Aw.
Okay.
Do you remember Mitzi, my Tressum? Do you want to
Yes.
play with her? You can't use fire with Dritzy.
Or the
Puts
shiv.
her hands in her pockets.
So Artemisia's gonna call out Mitzi so
Okay.
that she can like fly around.
Mitzi's like,
Oh, it's her. Don't pull my tail.
She won't, I promise. You have to promise not to pull her tail.
Okay.
See, she promises.
Mirabelle, keeping her hands in her pockets, tries to pet her with her head. Mitzi tears off up the stairs, and Mirabelle goes to follow. Stong, you guys are heading out to go carouse, yes?
Yeah.
A midday drink carouse. So as you are leaving, you notice the mirror over the fireplace in the parlor is darkened. It is not reflecting the room anymore. Shiny has not noticed. Shiny is walking out into the entryway, but you can see into a throne room where a copper throne of grasping sort of insect legs is, and a copper-skinned young woman, looks like a tiefling with bat-like wings, is sitting with her legs crossed, watching you.
Stong's going to look over at Shiny and the rest of his friends, and he's going to see if they notice him. And if they don't, then he's going to walk over to the mirror.
Excellent work. Elijah, the Archduchess of the Sixth Layer, kind of nods at you. Pale Knight's nowhere to be found.
Well, I assume that's the end of our business then.
Well, for the moment. I trust the Crown of Cyric couldn't be retrieved.
Well, we retrieved it, but then we put it somewhere where hopefully it'll never be found again.
Just say it.
That's very disappointing. I like it better when you're helpful. But
Well,
we are what we are. And I shall do as promised. Because I may bring this great victory to my father. You can continue on. And I won't bother Shiny or Mirabelle. Unless Mirabelle comes looking for me, of course. And your souls are yours. Unless you decide to make another bargain.
all right, I'll bite. Why would Mirabelle come looking for you?
Why wouldn't she? She's got to wonder where she's from. Someday that question will burn in her brain. It will come and grab hold of her. And she will go looking. And do you think I won't answer? She is my flesh and blood, so to speak.
You know, I'm not afraid of that day at all. Me, and then that guy over there, and Stong's pointing at Shiny. I think we're gonna raise her right. We're gonna give her the best upbringing she possibly can, and she's gonna be great. And she's going to be able to make her own choices, and you may not like that you won't be able to manipulate her like you want. Not like how you did with me. She's gonna be better than me, and better than him, and better than you one day. Just you wait and see.
I'll count on it. But don't get too ahead of yourself. You think that someone out there exists who can't be manipulated. I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment in that case, Stong McGuck. Perhaps I'll have another chat later on. See how you're doing. But I think you're not done where you are yet, are you?
Look, I just had a really long adventure where I've almost died and given up like lots of my life. All I want to do is just have a drink and enjoy the night with my friends.
Who's stopping you? Well, let's rephrase that. I'm not stopping you. And you hear a crash outside, and the glass goes dark, and then it reflects again, and Stong, you are just staring at your own face. Artemisia and Florin, there is a cacophonous sound outside in the road. Like something huge has just crash landed. Like maybe the witch hut tripped on its feet. That's your first thought, is that, oh, Cecilia got her house drunk somehow. Great.
I feel like Florin's a little too twitchy and just spins around and summons malfeasance.
This time, nobody knocks on the door. The door bangs open. Rare House lets people do that as long as they're not vampires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, door bangs open. And there's a Githyanki woman standing there.
Okay.
Artemisia, you recognize Scarcer, Stog's former lover, and Kithrak of the ship that you sailed in the Astral Sea. She has her sort of replacement legs and arm shining. They're she might have gotten an upgrade. She's looking good. And she looks at each of you. She looks at Shiny. She looks at you. She looks at Flora, and she's like, I need Stong. Where is he?
He was just here. Shall I go look and see if he wants to see you, or maybe he already left out the back?
Stong, you hear Scarcer's voice, and you hear Artemisia's kind of offer of like sneak out if you want.
No, it's been a while since he's seen Scarcer, and you know, they developed a good enough bond where I think Stong would be happy to see her. Nervous, perhaps, but happy.
Shiny is kind of giving her a look like, what the what? And he looks at Artemisia, he's like, who is this woman?
She and Stong, we met her in the astral plane, and she and Stong, it was a thing. But Stong should tell you the details.
Yes,
Yes.
you should.
So, you know, Adrian, you know how you met somebody that took off your armor and you got married? Well, you know, I met somebody that took off my armor and we had an egg together.
That's what I'm here about. She looks around
Oh.
and she sticks her head out. She's like, hey, you need to come in here now. She looks at Stong and she's like, listen. When I bedded you and asked you to fertilize my eggs, what I was looking for was your strength, your tenacity, and perhaps your excellent singing voice. This is not what I got.
No.
A little boy follows in behind her, kind of wide-eyed. He is definitely got Githyanki in him. He's got the sort of like flat face, the sort of tilted eyes, but there is definitely a brawniness to him, and he has a lot of hair. It's just like a plume. And he's kind of looking around like, what is all of this? And he looks up, he's like, is this a crush? She's like, nobody talking to you, Scarus. This is the problem.
Is that?
Right. Scarus, this is your father, Stong Makuk, the heir of the Murder Bear tribe, and persistent hugger. So
Stong's going to rush up to both her and the little guy. You said his name was
Scarus.
Scarus. Okay. So he's going to sweep her up with one arm and then sweep up Scarus with the other arm and give them both a big hug and twirl them around, reminiscent of the way he did to Shiny and Mirabelle.
So Scarus just kind of like for a second freezes, and then he like hugs you back really hard, really, really hard. Scaresair like get her for a second, and then she just sort of like flips out from under your arm, and she said, I said don't do that.
Well, I mean, you know that's one of my things that I do. You can't expect to see me and not get a hug, Scaresair. It's just not fair. But hey, it's over now.
Yeah, it's over for her, but Scarus is still hugging on you.
I think Stong is gonna be like hugging him tightly, with one of his arms. And he wants to
And
just
he's-
examine him closely, like, eye to
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah, he looks back at you. He has a very curious gaze. He's sort of like trying to see, like he seems to be like trying to see what you're gonna do, but he's excited about it. You kind of see like a little bit. His eyes remind you of your mom's.
Ooh.
And again, like he's got that great like curly hair. Like you see a baby and they have like a weird amount of hair and it's kind of adorable. It's like that. He's got a lot of hair, right?
Oh.
And again, and he kind of like picks up your hair and he's like,
I like this.
Stong's gonna pick up his hair. He's gonna say, I like this. Boy, you are a handsome little guy. So, has your mom told you good things about me?
She says that you are very big and strong.
and he looks back at Scaresair, who is just kind of like, this is taking way longer than I thought.
And you're big and strong, and you do singing magic, and you killed a murder bear and an astral whatnot, and that you also have a weakness where you wake people and you are very huggy, and this is my problem too.
Well, everything she says is correct. That's exactly who I am. Now, I'm really excited to get to know who you are. I assume Scaresair is here to let us have some time together.
Yes, on that point. I dropped him at the creche where he should have been raised. They're going to eat him alive, basically.
Oh,
He keeps trying to make friends with people.
what's
This
wrong
is
with
not
that?
the Githyanki way. Because we are Githyanki. Don't do that.
At this point, Florin has somehow produced popcorn and is just slowly eating it and offering some to Mia.
Shiny's like, excuse me, my wife is a succubus, but this is okay.
I think it'd be okay as long as you got. Anyways, it's a longer conversation over drinks. Wait, where's Mirabelle, Shiny? I really want her.
Oh, she went up the stairs.
Yeah, she's with Mitzi. Mitzi will tell me if there's any problem.
Oh, well, I really want her to meet her half brother.
Mitzi
I-
launches off and comes up and sits on Mirabelle or on Mia's shoulder.
She's like, I'm done babysitting.
Okay, apparently, yeah. So
You hear Mirabelle come running down. She's got her hands in her pockets.
She's like, come back, Kitty, I can sit with my feet.
Mirabelle, over here,
What?
my darling.
I let her do it.
It's
What?
okay if you did. Don't worry.
Okay, I did.
There's someone here that I really want you to meet.
Mirabelle's met Scaresair before, right? Scaresair showed up before.
Yeah.
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 She's like, oh, hi, Squisher.
So, Mirabelle, do you remember where Scaresair, the nice lady, and we had an egg together?
Yes. I did not understand why you wanted that, but I remember what happened.
Sometimes romances are just a whirlwind and things happen, but yeah, you have this wonderful...
Are we gonna have an omelet now?
Not quite an omelet, but still a treat. Introducing your half-brother. Ta-da!
She like looks at him like, what?
A half level? And he's like, do you like hugs? Mirabelle's like, I like fire hugs.
Scaresair is very into seeing what that is all about. And this may not be the smoothest introduction, but it seems as though it will be okay. Scaresair comes up, she grabs you by the front of your armor and pulls you in close. And she's like, you need to teach him to be a warrior.
Does that include making lots of friends?
I kind of think it's not going to be avoidable with you, but
And does it
you
include
are not
singing songs?
Yes, okay, you can sing songs to him.
And does it include a lot of hugs?
Only if you also teach him how to crush the life out of his enemies. Deal?
I think we have a deal. Stong's gonna like
Wonderful.
grasp her arm with his arm and like flex.
Wonderful. I'll be back in a year or two to see what's going on with him. Be good for your father, or else.
Don't worry, she's
Garrus
just
is
saying
like,
that.
All else. No, she means it. That's the gift Yankee way.
It's the cutest, just adorable, friendliest little Githyanki guy.
You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, so I think Stong is going to let Mirabelle and sorry, you have to tell me his name again. Scaris? Scaris.
Yeah.
Okay, because I keep getting Scabbard in my head. I know that's not right. So
That could be his nickname.
yeah. He's just gonna let them, play, and maybe he's like chasing them around as they're starting to like just get dangerously close to Briarhouse, and Stong knows that Artemisia has feelings about things getting broken or singed, in Briarhouse.
In the garden. How about they play in the garden? Not the roses, but the rest of the garden.
Okay, and so Stong's gonna chase them or sweep them up and push them in that direction, and maybe back into Shiny.
Yeah. So Shiny's gonna grab Artemisia's hand or put his hand on it and say, "We might not be going out. Do you have wine?"
Yes.
I think it's time for wine. And you follow Stong out into the garden with his daughter and her new half brother. So I think is there anything else you want to say, Shiny, before we wrap?
Maybe wrap, and then maybe come back to me towards the end or something.
So I do have that's fair. Okay, so we'll leave them playing in the garden, drinking some amount of wine to try to erase the strain of the adventure, and also your knowledge of what Mirabelle's future might hold, and whether or not you're going to tell Shiny all about it, or knowing Stong when you're going to tell Shiny all about it. So Artemisia, you guys want to go back and find Shadow Mia. Perhaps you wait until the witch hut returns with Cecilia and Ilya, because Ilya has met her and interacted with her as well. Maybe he knows something about how to do this. So is there anything that you want to do in the time between now and when the witch hut arrives?
So Florin, she's gonna offer you a room to stay in, and do the sort of like awkward sort of like stand in the hallway and be like, oh, so this is my room. There's empty rooms down the hall. She needs some guidance here.
So like I should take this room.
Do you want to, or I mean, because mine's like the primary suite. It's really big. There's like room in the closet.
I think for a moment Florin is so out of touch. He's just like, I'd sleep in a closet. And then he's just like, yeah, that would be nice.
So she's going to open the door to her room, and so Florin, like, especially like Harper senses, it's kind of like weird because this is a room it's set up for two people, but like there's sort of like it's sort of like kind of generally decorated and kind of empty in spots, and like the closet, like literally half of the shelves are like empty, and like why would one person living here like divide everything so much? And Artemisia doesn't even seem to like quite notice. She just sort of like looks in the closet and is like, oh yes, plenty of space, and like sort of twitches the cover lid on the bed to make sure it's even. And
I will be honest, this is player Trevor talking. It's been a while since I read them. Would he have any hint of what's going on here from the letters?
Probably not, because Artemisia doesn't know that she's doing it. He does know
Okay.
the rune on her hand is connected. It says home. It's connected to Briar House, and that Briar House is really important to her, and they rescued it from the astral plane and brought it back here. So she's like super connected to Briar House,
Mhm.
but otherwise she doesn't know that she's doing this.
Oh, okay. I think Flora would be like, yeah, that's just what? Why is there like half everything?
Well, I mean, it's just, well, there isn't. It's extra space, and so it's here when we need it.
Oh, you could just make extra space?
Like, clearly her brain is sort of like fritzing a little bit. She's like, no, houses don't work that way.
Lauren, as an outsider, can you make me a perception check?
Yeah. 19.
19. Okay, so there's another weird thing you've noticed about this house. Walking around, Artemisia's showing you these rooms. You notice like every window when you look out, you can see the rose garden. But when you leave this house, there's definitely a rose garden only on 2 sides of this house. So that does not make sense that you can see the rose garden from every window. It's a nice view, but there's something very weird about this house.
I just get the vibe that like there's more to this house than there appears to be.
Yeah. Well, the up on the 3rd floor and then the attics. I'm always finding extra space up there because I don't
Convenient.
really explore that heavily, and then but I do when I need a room for somebody, and then it's there. So it
I
works
mean
out.
that is very convenient.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, I didn't bring anything through the teleporter. But also got to kind of figure that out because I don't know how much time has passed, and I'm wondering if Viscaris is wondering where I am. But I'll figure that out later. That doesn't matter.
Well, the house does have a couple servants, so we can send them to the market with like shopping orders.
All right.
All right.
So you get Florin settled in. Florin, you do realize that the time passed weird, right? So not that much time has passed. It has not been the 10-day that Viscaris told you yet. You check in with the people trying to track down Lorcan's shadow for you, and they tell you something weird's going on with this guy. What's the deal?
Well, I mean, something weird kind of going on with him is the base level of his existence.
Always fun. I got a divided kind of signal for this.
Oh
like-
yeah, there's probably that's probably gonna happen. He's technically another person also.
Oh. All right, interesting. This
Yeah.
stuff you're bringing from Berdusk? From like your previous network, or is this something else?
No, this is. It's really complicated. Just when you can lock something down, let me know.
All right, I got one lockdown in Scornable, kind of on the eastern side of the Heartlands, and the other one's bouncing everywhere. So I can keep looking, but you can go to
Yeah.
Scornable. See.
Scornable. Okay. I'll keep
Okay.
that in mind. But yeah, keep an eye out for that other one if you can find it.
Okay, I'll do a sending if I need to. All right. The witch house returns with Cecilia and Ilya and Sarshan. And Ilya comes down. He's like, "Do you know how weird it is? I guess you do. Your city's all backwards."
I also like the idea that Florin walks outside for the first time. It's just like, oh, this is like Shadow Waterdeep all over again, but in better lighting.
It's backwards, and it's kind of grosser.
Yeah. Yep.
So, are you gonna tell Ilya you want to go talk to Shadow Mia?
Yes. When Ilya gets in, she's gonna like pull him aside a little bit and say, actually, I don't know where you left the other ring, but so I have a job for you.
Oh, I forgot it. It's back in my workshop. If Sturge didn't steal it.
So actually, I kind of want to go back there anyway, which I got to in a second.
Okay.
But so she's going to show him the equivalent, and she's actually moved it to like a different finger now. So it's not on the wedding finger, whatever that is in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
And she's going to say, so this ring, it's been really important to me. But I think I told you. Well, anyway, I'll tell you again.
Yeah, it's like a pocket dimension that some weird guy gave to you.
Yeah, and I kind of don't like want to go there anymore. Like it's weird. Like I just realized like because I'm back in the real world now and I could and what's there? The things I want are here. So I kind of want it, but it makes me a little bit safer to like have it because it's harder to hit me. So can you like just kind of break it?
Yeah, give it to me. I'm good at breaking things. I mean,
But-
not that. Like strategically breaking.
Yes, exactly. So get rid of the pocket dimension, but leave the rest.
Yeah, give it to me. Let me see it.
So
Your
she
sister,
clearly
she has some crappy artificer stuff. I can do it, I think. Could you please get that dog man she's dating out of there? He's making me nuts. He keeps asking me questions and then I answer them and then he's like, I don't understand. And then she's like, stop bothering him. You're making him a headache.
Well, you can stay here because, Sarshan and Cecilia, they're together. So
What if they weren't? Because I like the house.
you could, there's not really room for 2 witch houses by Briar House, but you could make your own witch hut.
That's an interesting idea. I have my tower. I could make a mini tower. It would be better than this one because she did say to cut some corners. She didn't like me telling her that.
Well, you'll just have to show her up like silently. So when she sees how great yours is, then.
Oh, like an object lesson. I think she will hate that too, but in a loving way. This is great. I have 2 sisters. One that I get to shout at and one who asks me to do stuff. Give me the ring.
So she finally like gives it up. It took a
All
little
right.
bit of a wrench, but she does hand it over.
Okay, so Ilya's gonna strategically break your ring. Cecilia comes back and she's like, those 2 are making me crazy.
Well, so apparently Ilya doesn't need his tools, but I think he should have his tools anyway, and then we can get him a workshop in Briar House.
We should get his tools. All I'm hearing about is how my tools aren't the good kind of tools. They're perfectly fine, and just because I couldn't find some of them doesn't mean that they're broken.
Perfectly correct. But so I was hoping that we could go back to the Shadow Realm to get the tools, and also I need to talk to my me.
Oh my god! You have a you. I forgot about that. Okay. I could do the plane shift thing and take us. Because I want to see this. Please, can I see it? Please. I didn't get to see anybody's thing except Sturge's.
Yes. Because the plane shift would be very useful. And I guess like it's only fair because I know Ilya and I don't think you'll like her, but you can meet her. Can you take
fine.
Florin too if Florin wants to come?
Yeah, I can totally take you too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go.
Ilya comes back. He's got the ring. It has a piece of like copper wire kind of wound around the bottom, but pounded flat, so it's not rubbing when you put it back on. He's like, okay, so I'm not promising it's not gonna spark a little bit, but I do know that it will not suddenly open the pocket dimension. So good news. What are we doing now?
We're gonna get your tools, and I need to talk to my me. And you've met her before.
Don't go talk to her. No, don't talk to her. No. Okay, you're not the boss of her. She wants to talk to her. I don't want her to talk to her.
Well, Ilya, you can stay behind, but then you would have to trust Cecilia to pick your tools.
I don't trust her to take my tools out.
That's what I thought.
He's such a weenie. Okay. All right, so we're going.
Yes. Florin?
Awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So she's going to go ahead and plane shift the four of you back to the tower, because she doesn't know where the tower is. Ilya can collect his tools, say hi to Ferris. Sturge is not here for some reason. You don't know where he's on about, but he has left it in good repair. The tower's not falling down or anything. The door is properly locked. And then yeah, you need to get to Aglaron, but fortunately, well, as much as Ilya does not want to use the teleportation circle, he's okay with it, knowing Cecilia could plane shift you out of here. So you spend the night in the tower, just so she's got that back. And you head over to Aglaron again, and go in search of your shadow. Yeah. Now, fortunately, when you were here before, you did not wear your own face, either of you, which turns out to be good, because you definitely caused a stir. So you head up to the Tararan Manor. It's just like you left it, big and beautiful. I need to look up the butler's name. I've completely forgotten. Well, the butler. We'll just say the butler for now.
Yeah.
The butler lets you in. And you want to talk to the lady of the house.
Yep.
He's going to lead you up to her office, the one that you went into before, looking for her ring. She is sitting at her desk, going through some correspondence. And Artemisia, yeah, she looks just like you left her. Like you, polished up a little, no scales, humanish ears. She's wearing her hair down, which you wouldn't do. And her butler comes in about, says, "My lady, you have visitors." It's Cecilia's like,
So Artemisia is gonna walk right in and say, so
she looks up, she takes in your face, and she's like, "What is this?"
so I'm you from another plane. And this, you remember your brother. You've met your brother, right, Ilya?
She casts a spell. You can tell she's casting True Sight and looking at you like she thinks this is a fake out. And then she sits back and she looks past you. She's like, "Oh, is this some trick to get in here or get my money? What is this?" And Ilya's like, I told you don't talk to her. It's like,
but
you talk to me. There's a fight brewing.
Yeah, you guys really don't get along, do you? Okay, she's gonna like grab Cecilia's arm. So this is my sister. So like, see the two of them, and then the two of us. Like, there's a whole plane of people who are equivalents,
Okay.
but not exactly.
Is this? It's related to that little break-in that we had a few 10 days ago.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a whole thing. It's very complicated. The important thing is your kids. You know they're not real, right?
My children.
Yeah.
They're just in the garden playing.
Stable demons.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Huh? Nothing. Sorry. I'm just kind of here for support. Sorry.
When did you last see them?
No, I don't know. I must have seen them this morning at breakfast.
But when do you last remember seeing them?
Well, I'm a very busy woman. They're my children. I didn't lose them. I'm sure they're in the garden or the nursery. They're probably in the nursery.
There is no nursery in your house. We figured that out before.
Of course there's a nursery in my house. I have two children. Where do you think they sleep and play?
They're
What
an
is this?
illusion from this world.
I,
She's gonna try to like take her hands, her own hands, and like, well, I guess she can do a dispel magic. See if that would help. Our Shadow Artemisia will recognize it, I'm sure.
yeah. She has to spell magic, and you know, some of the polish comes off. She clearly had a glamour on. But she's
Oh,
like, "What are you
sweetie.
doing?" Cecilia leans over. She goes, "Why don't you take us to the nursery? We're looking to decorate. We hear you have great taste. And I, for one, would love to see what you've done with that kind of a space. It's so easy for it to get so messy." And he's like, "Why do you want a nursery? You should not be having children." Punches it. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I'd love to see your nursery.
Okay. So she stands up. She kind of brushes off her ropes, and she like leads you out and kind of down the hall, and then sort of turns around, comes back, and stands on the stairs, goes halfway down the stairs, comes back up, and she's like, "Well,
There isn't one.
it, wait, there must be one. Where do my children sleep then?"
Well, you don't have children, because I didn't have children.
Then who are Ilion and Canton then? Why do I know those names if I don't have children?
So she's carefully not saying demons, but she's like, they're illusions. They're in your mind. And oh, you see her like this like dawning sort of like horror. She's like, wait, Halakar is still here, right?
Yes,
You-
he's in his offices.
And you remember seeing him.
Yes.
Okay.
We had breakfast this morning.
Okay, good.
We had a soft-boiled egg and some toast and kippers.
Okay. So at least you still have him. And she's gonna like take Shadow Artemisia's hands
What
again and
is
say, so our biological mother, Skaha, that's her name. Oh, you know her?
Yes, I know her. Charlatan.
What? This one came to find you?
Yeah, this one is, you do not talk about this with, you don't tell her anything. And Cecilia's like, "We don't have to talk about everything you tell me." He turns around, he's like, your Skaha didn't come around. Our Skaha would show up and, be not terribly maternal. And then woof, we disappear. Yes, Artemisia said, I'm gonna call her Artemisia, I'm gonna call you Mia, just to be clear. She's like, yes, she turns up, she spouts some cryptic nonsense, she poses a bit, acts like we all should be very grateful for her presence, and then she's gone, and she'll come back 5 years later.
Oh,
She's...
so you don't really have any real family, do you? Do you have any friends? Do you have real friends?
I have my husband and my father and my stepmother.
Yeah.
And my children. Can I tell her, please? Can I tell her?
I mean, I'm not making much headway yet, so.
He's like, your children were demons. Your whole perfect life that it's too good for me to be in because I'm a dirty, gross artificer is a fake. Well, okay, maybe not all of it is a fake. I guess you did, buy this house and get this job and all this, but the kids are demons.
And it from a demon lord, they weren't, it was a whole thing. We've taken care of her. She's out of the picture. She's fine. Well, she's not fine. I'm not great in these situations.
But so your kids aren't coming back. You can't. They didn't exist, and now they don't exist and they're not coming back, and you can't live your life just thinking that you have them. You have to make family, define it, make friends, make them into family.
I think you should leave.
Well, if that's what you want, are you happy? Because I
It's
couldn't
a
be happy
silly
without family and
question.
friends.
That's of course I'm happy. Look around. I have everything. Of course.
That's not happiness.
Yeah. I was gonna say make me an insight check, but I don't think you need to. Artemisia, you looking at her, she has anchored all her self-worth on these trappings. You know, that having the position and having Mercilea's praise and being able to discard the people in her life who are imperfect. You know, even you kind of wonder, like, you wouldn't say she doesn't love her kids, right? But the fact that she's like, nah, they're around here somewhere. Like, you kind of wonder, like, and to be honest, like, you know, you have a suspicion that as this world separates itself, she's gonna have to reckon with what she actually has. But you don't. You made something of your own. It was hard and it was messy, and there were times where you were like, oh my god, what am I even doing here? But when you walk out of here, you've got your sister, and you've got a man who cares a lot about you, and you've got this new weird brother who has joyfully attached himself to you. And that feels a lot better than all the things you were supposed to want.
Yeah, she's gonna walk forward and like hug Artemisia and be like, I'm sorry. I hope it gets better for you. And then she's gonna step back and then she's gonna leave.
So you hold her and she's sort of stiff, but as you say that, she puts one arm kind of around your back. She kind of hugs you back. This didn't go perfect, but you think maybe you kind of got through to her? She doesn't want to hear what you're saying, but when she realizes it, maybe it's going to be easier.
Hopefully.
You leave the manor, and Cecilia prepares to plane shift. Anything you want to say to each other before we do this?
I mean, she's kind of clinging to Florence's hand again.
I think as they're leaving, he's just go. So are you okay?
Yeah. I think I am. I'm not her, and I knew that before, and now I really, really know it, and I think I really want real kids. Just so you know.
Okay.
Later.
Cecilia's like,
Make a saving throw, Trevor.
Yeah. What do I roll for shock?
it's a charisma save.
Oh, sweet. 23.
3. You react. You are surprised. That is, you know, you're surprised, but you're also like, you know, that is probably a good thing for someone to bring up early.
It's fair. It's fair.
Ugh. But you know, as long as we go with the theme of like intrusive thoughts, you're like, oh man, this throws your mind back to your parentage and the fact you gotta find Shadow Lorcan.
Oh, yeah.
So Cecilia shifts you back to Briar House. And Florin, when you arrive back in your home plane, you get a sending.
Okay.
Found him, I think, moving toward Scornable. That seems fortunate. Report in. Viscaris wants to know, where are you? when will you finish this filing?
Okay.
Lauren, with that, like, what are you gonna say to him?
Oh yeah, because I get to
You
respond.
get to respond. You get 25 words.
Um,
When are you gonna come back and be a secretary, Florin?
Thanks for the info. Um, We'll be putting in request for transfer to Westgate.
Part of me is like, I can just imagine Harper going, is it worth another sending to go, why you going to Westgate? It sucks. But
I know.
which also, interestingly, Florin, you do know there's already a Harper agent in Westgate.
Yep.
Whose shadow you have met.
Yep.
That
Well,
will
and I
have
think
to-
I think we established that Florin does know her, like in this world.
passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could go track Cochen down and be
That
like,
would be
"Listen."
so funny for Florin to start working for Cochen. Oh my god.
I mean, if you transfer to Westgate, she's the spy
Yeah,
master here.
that's
She would be
real
your
funny.
boss.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, that's your future. All right. So, Scornable.
Yeah, I don't know. My Forgotten Realms lore is vacant here.
All right. Well, Florin knows because, especially because you were a member of the Harpers at Burdesk, and this would have been sort of within your sphere of reference. It is a city that is called the City of Caravans. It is near to Eltergard, but unlike Eltergard, it is a merchant city. Anybody
Okay.
can make their way in Scornable as long as they, pay their taxes and the occasional bribe. And they have something to offer. It is at the foot of the mountains, whose name I've forgotten now. Let me pull this map up and check so that everybody doesn't. Although any minute now, I'm gonna get like 16 Forgotten Realms fans being like,
Yeah, and the
Actually,
answer is-
everyone's adjusting their glasses to push them up.
"Ah."
like the anime like glare off the glasses with a little blink at the end. Now it's my time to shine.
I don't remember what it
Yeah.
was. I just remember one time when I was working at a restaurant, I had stuff in my hand. I went to go adjust my glasses, and I went like this, and I went, "What the hell did I just do?"
Oh yeah.
All right, it is west of Baldur's Gate. It is along the trade route.
Okay.
Trade road, sorry. Outside what is called the Reaching Wood on the river Kionthar. Again, it's called the City of Caravans. It's a city of merchants and traders. It is a stop along this very busy tradeway, but it is not a place you have had a lot of call to go. So you want to go to Scornable.
Yup.
Okay. You've been given an address, which is where the static signal is, and the other one was harder to pin down, but was definitely moving in that direction. Seems like maybe Shadow Lorcan is going after his non-shadow self. How many people are going with Florin on this particular encounter?
I mean, Mia,
And
unless
Mia's
he tells
going.
her to stay
Yeah.
behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Florin would be like, anyone that wants to go with this can, because hey, this might turn into a fight, and I will take as much backup as I can get. But it could also just be, super sad's time.
Well, I think Stong, like when you guys come back, you hear there's like a commotion from the Rose Garden, and you see maybe like Shiny's on the ground, and like Mirabelle and Scaris are each trying to like pull off like one of his boots or something, and then like Stong like drunkenly has like wrestled him to the ground, being like, "Take off your armor! Take it off! Take off your armor!"
And then Florin goes, "Woo, take it off."
And so yeah, when you guys like come in and bring up that offer, he just stops and he kind of like wants to look up at you, like a little groggy, a little the beginnings of drunk. And he's gonna say, "Oh, the party's over, huh? Back to work already?"
Short job.
Stonk's gonna turn back to Shiny, help him up off the ground, fix his class, dust off his armor, and he's gonna say to the two kids, "Oh, you two just stay here real quick and play with your other dad, and I'll be right back."
Mirabelle tackles Shiny back down to the ground. I'm a Johnson!
There it is.
I am calling just for the record because he stole my mask and I want it back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
Okay. So for heading to Scornable, you don't have immediate. Does the teleportation circle in Briarhouse go where you want if you need it to, or does it just bring you back to Briarhouse?
So I think that the circle is actually in Mirren's tower. Mirren made the circle, and then Artemisia can use any circle to get back to Briarhouse.
Got it.
So I don't know, we could go out of Briarhouse, but we could go to Mirren's.
You could go to Mirren's. You could just run in the witch hut. But okay. So let's say you go. You explain this to Mirren. You get teleported outside the gates of Scornable. You've been given an address that's sort of deeper within the city, not too close to the main gate, but sort of near one of the side entrances to the city. You got a plan going in?
Look at Florin.
How do you want to do this?
Also, how injured are we? Because I'm
you're
pretty
fresh.
injured.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
wow. I'm
so-
very injured.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Guys, it's been a
that
couple
clip
days
for,
at
like-
this point because
Okay.
you did the whole thing. I mean, you guys were gone and time didn't move as fast here, although it did seem like it was matching up more. The distortion is less intense now that the plane is sort of becoming its own thing. But yeah, it's been a couple of days. I assume this was
Okay.
a later event in the Rose Garden because it was not the same day when they came back. So
Oh, okay.
And also there's been some evening where like doors were firmly shut. Artemisia and Florin were elsewhere.
As for how we're doing this, I think Florid is gonna summon Malfeasance and just be like, look, I don't really know this world's Lorcan that well, and I know the Shadow one only slightly, but I think the Shadow one's gonna be expecting us to be here, and the real Lorcan is probably gonna, have ways of knowing we're showing up. So I think we should just kind of walk in.
All
Okay.
right. Mind blank, true seeing on Florin. Tell group chat up.
I love
Appreciate
being
it.
in the group chat now. I just need you to know I feel very included in your world and I appreciate it. Even though
Cheer emoji.
everything is twisted. Did you get that video I sent you?
Sorry, I don't
Alright.
click on links.
You head into the city. Again, this is, it is full of various peoples. It is very diverse and everybody's selling something. You have beautiful cloths, you have earthenware, you have porcelain, you have metals to be made into something else, raw materials. You make your way towards, you ask for directions, you get pointed towards where you've been told to go. And you find in not the worst part of this city, but definitely not as posh as some of the neighborhoods you've walked through. You find a shop. This shop has a sign hanging over it. This doesn't have a name, but it has a picture on the sign. What did I say the picture was? It's a cat. It's a copper cat on a black background. Yeah, looks like a tiny little shop. There's like geraniums in the window, boxes. Yeah. This is
Okay.
where you've been told somebody is.
Okay. Florin's gonna walk in.
Seems pretty
Okay.
low key.
Very low key. You walk in, and this seems to be kind of one of those shops that carries all kinds of random things. There's herbs hanging from the rafters, drying. There's, piles of bottles full of maybe potions, maybe liqueurs. There's, books for sale. There's, candy. There's seems like a bucket of candy. Some little statuettes, little things. And yeah, behind the counting table, there's a man that you recognize. This looks a lot like Lorcan when you first saw him. Handsome, very handsome. Kind of tannish skin, blondish hair, dark blonde hair curling to the collar. He's going over a ledger. And yeah, there's a cat on a shelf kind of near his head. And there's a couple things here. Florin, you have true sight on, so you see
Yep.
right through that disguise. That is a Cambion. That is 100% a Cambion. That is Lorcan standing there.
I do think that this hits him differently. Like, he now knows what his dad looks like and like knows that this one is. This is not the shadow of, this is him. And so I think that hits him a little different than he's expecting it to. Kind of in the back of his head realizes that he's had all of these ideas of like what meeting his real dad would be like, and it wasn't just walking into a weird shop and him sitting behind the counter.
So you're so transfixed by your father standing there that you almost don't notice the cat. But when you you hear it talk, you hear it say 17, 38, 42, 107. You hear Lorcan say, "Shut up, or I will blast you back to the hells." And then the cat says, "If you were going to do that, you wouldn't warn me first." And that's not a cat. Lorcan, that next to Lorcan, Florin, that is a black imp that is sort of sitting there picking at its nails. He's like, "You have customers." And he looks up and he sort of puts on a neutral, pleasant expression. But he sees you, Florin, and he sort of freezes. And he goes, "Okay, I don't do that anymore. So whoever sent you, this is not where you need to be.
No.
I am not taking warlocks. I am doing something different with my life."
Florin holds up Malfeasance, goes, "I'm kind of taken already anyway, so it's fine."
He looks at it he's like, "Is that a piece of the Shadowfell?
Yeah, actually it is.
Are you not a Nicodemus heir? You look like a Nicodemus heir."
I don't actually
Do I
remember
know
if he
you?
I
He
can't
does
remember
know.
if he
You do
knows.
know.
I do know
You
that.
do
Okay.
know. Yeah, your shadow.
Yeah, that's right, because
told
that's the mom's
you-
side. Yeah.
Yeah, that on your mom's side, you're descended from a warlock called Nicodemus.
Yeah.
And that the white hair is a real tell.
Yeah. Florin goes, "Yeah, I am."
Do I know you?
No, you don't.
Okay, so you're not pissed at me. That's good. Can I do
Ah.
something for you?
Well, there is another version of you that's on his way here, and I don't know what he's going to do when he gets here. He has something that he took from my friend over here, and he points at Ilya. Who would
Hello?
like it back.
Okay. Sorry, another version of me?
Yeah, it was a whole thing with the Pale Knight creating a shadow world, and you had a projection of yourself and didn't know it, about a lie that apparently you told yourself or were comfortable with at some point.
Oh, I don't think.
Don't worry, Pale Knight's already been taken care of. We handled that.
Okay, well, that's good. Not interested in that.
Artemisia's gonna lean over and put her hand on Florin's shoulder and be like, "Florin, you gotta just spit it out. Tell him."
The cat imp drops down and is like kind of walking on the ledger and is very much looking at you, but it's kind of acting like a cat. Flora, and you see this imp being like, Lorcan like pushes like, Sergi, go away.
Yeah, so I don't really know what
Hold up real quick, just so we're all being clear. So you know who I am.
Yeah, you're Lorcan.
Okay, and you know that I'm not.
Yeah, I can see. I got true sight on right now.
The cat jumps up. She's like, oh, good. I don't have to fake it. Well, it's what your life is now. So I don't think it's really faking it. Excuse my sister.
Oh, okay.
What exactly? I'm not clear here what exactly you want from me, though. You're just giving me a warning because I'm
He's on his way
pretty
here.
capable of taking care of myself.
Well,
Lauren.
I mean,
Lauren, come on.
But you want your friend's thing. Is that it?
yeah.
Lauren.
Okay.
Do this.
I mean, I can do it for you, but I don't think I should do it for you.
No,
What?
You're my dad.
The look on his face is so you spent enough time with Shadow Florin to know that you never saw him look surprised. Even when you know you're telling him something he did not know, he was just stone-faced. He was very in control of his emotions. But what strikes Lorcan in front of you is utter shock. Like that is not what he expected on any level. He's like, I don't think that's and he's like kind of like counting. He's like, no, I think someone's I'm sorry. You don't want that to be the case. Trust me.
I mean, I don't really have a say in it. Just kind of is how it is.
Who's your mother? I can't.
God, this is terrible. I don't remember what the name
I
we
don't think
gave.
you've actually never said her name.
Oh,
so
God,
make
yeah.
one up right now. That's her name now. I think you just always said your mom.
Oh, you know what? I'm just going with this because I like the name Shiofra.
Cool. Oh. She never said anything. Do you think she's covering for someone else? The cat is like, are you serious? He looks exactly like you. I'm so sorry that you're stuck with that. And you see Lorcan turn and he just like a blast of fire comes out of his hand and the imp just disintegrates. No, it's not fire because they're fire resistant. It's just this purple force.
Yeah.
Because like he said, he wasn't going to warn her if he was really good. She said he wasn't going to warn her if he was really going to do it. He's like, don't worry, she reforms and comes back every time. Every time.
Good.
Okay. That's wow. Listen, I've been through more than you can imagine.
I mean, same.
Well, I'm sorry that runs in the family. I am trying very hard here to make the most of a second chance. And
I'm not here to ruin your life, if that's what you're thinking.
No. I mean, look around. My life is about as ruined as it gets.
Seems kind of peaceful.
Okay, I'll give you that. It's better than the 9 hells. I just mean this isn't what I was, and I don't want you to be disappointed. I know what it's like to find out your father is something less than impressive, let's say.
I mean, this is actually much better than anything that I kind of worried about. So, I mean, I don't know who you were before. Well, I kind of know who you were before. But not as much. And I mean, this is fine.
So you met the other version of me.
Yeah, the live you.
Okay. And he screwed you over. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Because he was out for himself.
That sounds like a lie I did tell myself. For a while. Okay. So he's coming here, you think?
I've had Harper's tracking.
Oh, hold on a second. You're a Harper?
Oh, don't start with the disappointed dad thing already, okay?
Listen, I've met Harpers that I'm not fond of. Let's put it that way.
So have I.
Well, good. Great. Okay, we have that in common. We've met Harpers we don't like. We've met demons we don't like. You met Serchi, so we both know devils we don't like.
But he's on his way here. Last we were able to track. It was kind of inconsistent, but this was the direction he was heading. I don't know why he's heading this way. Because
I mean, maybe he wants to steal this life.
Yes, I think this is the right answer. You can't run around being you because somebody might find you. And yeah, he seems like someone who wants to be in his own space. He stole my mask. Did we mention that a couple times?
we got that. Don't worry.
It's
We got
very
it.
important. I
Yep,
just want
it's
to be sure
noted.
everybody knows.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry, Ellie. We're gonna get back.
So he wants to come steal this life. Well,
I don't think he
you know
wants to steal
what?
this life. I think he wants to steal what you were before.
I mean, he could try. I'm sure the Archduchess would gladly take my failure and claim me back. So, well, he thinks he's going to take this away from me. This is everything I have. So I'm not going to give it to him because I'm not interested in starting over, and I'm certainly not going to die. What is your plan here? Because I would like to be a part of it. I would like to. Do they burn? Do the shadow things burn?
No, kind of same thing as what you got going on. So, yeah.
Shit.
Trust me, I
okay.
fought myself. That was fun.
Well, we need to boot him back to his original plane. That's where he belongs.
All right. Interesting. Okay, that's your plan. Get him back to where he's supposed to be.
Cecilia could banish him.
Yeah.
I didn't bring
Yeah,
Cecilia.
but-
Oh, dang it.
Okay, just, don't need to rub in all the things she can do that I can't do.
I mean, is it a good idea? Like through the group chat, Stong wants to think like, is it a good idea to just let him roam around the other realm though?
I mean,
I'm tired of like being the
oh, wait,
the like world warden. Like, we can't let the crown go to anybody, and we can't let this happen or that
Yeah.
happen. Like, whatever.
I feel like we could leave right now and he would kill the other him and we don't have to do anything about it. I don't know.
but then
what
you
that
wouldn't get your
does.
mask back, Ilya.
Ah, damn it, you're right.
And that's
I
technically
mean,
Florian's
and it's
real
been
dad.
noted several times throughout this conversation. Took your mask.
Really
You
a trap.
all are having some sort of.
Yeah, sorry, it's a
That's
group chat.
fine.
We kind of
All right,
forget.
I'm gonna work on my ledger here while you do that, I suppose.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that maybe we just, wait for him to show up and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can talk him out of it.
We're not gonna try to ambush him or anything like that, or trap him. We're just gonna wait here and then.
The funny thing is I think he's going to be caught the most off guard if he just walks in here and we're here.
Yeah,
true.
that would be pretty surprising.
So why not that happens? He opens the door opens and here's Shadow Lorcan.
Is he surprised?
Of course not.
I knew it. I knew it.
Actually, let's be honest. If he opens the door, it doesn't look like Shadow Lorcan to you two. It just looks like some guy. But Florin, you've got true sight on, and you know
Mm-hmm.
who that is. Yeah.
I think Florin's going to turn and go, oh, speak of the devil.
He freezes. And Lorcan's like, that doesn't look anything like me.
He's got
Oh!
yeah.
Damn it. Right. Hey! You don't get to take my life! He's gonna like be pulling out a rod. Lorcan seems like he might kill this guy.
I think Florin's gonna put up a hand in front of real Lorcan, look at Shadow Lorcan, and just go, so what was your game plan here? Like, were you gonna take his life? Were you just gonna take the mask and run, think we're never gonna see each other again?
Yeah, I figured you weren't gonna succeed, and like I
God,
told
your
you, I
your
need to
son
get
was
outta here.
really not as clever as me.
He was more ruthless.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here and he's not.
Would you have killed him if I didn't tell you to do it, though?
If it came down to it, between him and me, and he was gonna try and kill me, yeah, I would have. But honestly, if we had been able to work something out, no.
Well, that was then. This is now. This doesn't involve you. You don't need anything from him, and I need safety.
You need safety.
Do I want to be existing in a world where everything is falling apart and my existence is false? The things I do aren't actually happening. It's all a weird delusion. No, I don't want that. If I just become him, that goes away. And what happens? You don't have to deal with the father you were crying about, not caring for you, in that sad little closet in Xanathar's hideout.
Flora does turn out exactly like I'm like, I wasn't crying.
You seem like a crier.
Uh-huh.
Of course you weren't crying.
Your world isn't crumbling anymore. Your world is its own thing now. It exists on its own terms, which you would have known if you hadn't stabbed us in the back and taken Ilya's mask. Again, noting you have Ilya's mask. Got you.
Thank
And-
you.
And actually, helped us. Instead, took the coward's way out and just ran.
You call it cowardice. I call it self-preservation.
I call it you didn't get the job done, dude. You left and abandoned everyone that had helped you so far. And all it got you was trying to go kill this dude. I'm gonna let you know, I've known this dude for like 4 minutes. He probably would have murdered you.
I'm still thinking about it.
He's still thinking about it.
You could try.
Oh my God, we're not doing the devil dick measuring contest.
It's kind of just in their nature. It's hard to avoid. I know it's pointless and I still want to do it. But he's
There-
not even really a devil, is he?
Hmm?
The Lorcan is saying, you're not even really a devil. What's your plan here? You're going to take my place, go back to the Nine Hells. I can smell it on you. You have abyssal magic all through you. You can't go back there. They'll eat you alive. Shadow Lorcan. Again, there's no surprise in him. He is like a mask. He's like, I think I'll be okay.
But why take that risk when you can just give us Ilya's mask back, plane shift back to your world, and exist however you want for the rest of your existence? No one has to fight here. No one has to die here. You don't need to take any more risks. You can just go back.
Who's sending me back?
I don't know. We have magic people everywhere.
Cecilia, we can travel back to get her to do it.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna
we
be
could
in
also
this
just
big
buy a
place.
scroll somewhere down the market.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Lorcan pulls out a chain around his neck, and you do see he has a look, just like this, copper scourge, but a row of magic rings, and he takes it off. He threads one out, and he's like, "This one."
Yeah,
He
look,
hands it
this
back.
one.
You blow through that, it'll send him back where he belongs. Point it the right way, though. If you blow it the wrong way, it's gonna send you back somewhere. I don't know where you're from. but-
Florin looks for the arrow.
Or you could walk out of here, because I'm gonna tell you, it's infernal magic. It's not made to be pleasant. Pain makes you stronger, they say. So it's your choice. You can walk out of here, or you can be dragged through knives back to your plane.
To
Florin,
be fair, I didn't know about the knives when I took the ring, so there's that.
Florin, you want to make me one last persuasion check? See if you can convince him to walk away from
Sure,
this.
and you know what? I don't trust these digital dice. They've been mean to me.
Can I give it advantage if I want to yell something at this Florin, or not this Florin, at the other Lorcan?
Sure.
So Stong wants to like just lean over and go, "You know who told the lie that saved your realm and gave you a second chance? This guy right here, your son."
No.
Lorcan's like, he's not his son.
Well, kind of.
All right, let's see.
The better
First roll's a
version.
natural 20.
Nice.
There you go.
I love this D20.
Shadow Florin looks at each of you in turn, and then he looks at Florin and he holds your gaze like he's trying to like make you bend, make you get out of the way. But he sees this is not happening. You know yourself. You don't need this guy's approval. You don't need him to think that you're as good as the other you, because you know already. You know that guy could not hold a candle to you at the end of the day. And he kind of like straightens up, tightens his clothes. He's like, okay, fine. You're gonna send me back.
Mask first.
He reaches in, pulls out the mask, he holds it out to Ilya. Lorcan, behind the counter, leans in and he's like, you know, there's every chance he's going to come back.
I know. But to be fair, that's probably going to be your problem. And he's going to hold up the ring and blow through it.
All right, so a whirlwind spins out of that and grabs hold of him, and pulls back through. And then the ring in your hands is dull and dead, and it was a one-time thing.
Mhm.
He gave you kind of he gave you a pretty good magic item there, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I really wanted the guy gone, so it only makes sense.
I mean, he really actually make me an insight check, Artemisia.
Oh, okay. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Yeah. So, your impression is that Lorcan wanted to kill him. He really wanted to kill him. That was his option. He's like, yeah, let's just kill that dude. You get the feeling if he does come back, Lorcan's gonna kill him. But he gave Florin that ring instead.
He does
And,
care.
Lorcan's like, so you're done.
Guess so.
How? I don't please don't take this the wrong. I shouldn't even ask. Never mind.
No, what is it?
She's gonna ask how your mother is. Haven't spoken to her in however old you are plus 9 months. I don't actually know, Florin, how old you are.
I don't remember. I remember we set it down, but I don't think
20
I
mumble plus 9 months.
Yeah,
haven't
20
talked to her.
20 mumble and 29 months.
20
Yeah,
mumble.
yeah.
I'm being polite.
Florin says she's good. She lives on her own. She's very happy.
Good. It was.
She was
I
very
think-
against me becoming a warlock, by the way.
That doesn't surprise me. Do you understand? I don't know if you see. I gotta tell you, I am very shocked that you are some sort of hex. Are you hexblade? Is this a hexblade thing?
Yeah.
you do you understand exactly what you are?
No.
Oh.
I know I was in a bad situation and it was the only way I could get out. So
Well, like, listen, there are a couple of things you should know. Your mother is protecting you from a whole network of warlock collectors who would love to have a Nicodemus heir of their own. And additionally, as it happens, and I want to be clear about something, I did not know this at the time I was your mother's patron. I did not know this for quite some time because, as stated, some people have absent fathers, and sometimes it's very disappointing. You're the heir of another warlock called Kaisis the Vice Lord, which is very appealing to certain collectors. They love the combinations, and they will do a lot of things.
I'm a shiny.
You are a shiny. Exactly. How did you know the hellish terminology? Did she tell you that? Does her new patron talk about that stuff? Usually warlocks are not interested in this.
I mean, she told me
Sorry.
she doesn't have. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So it's not an unwise thing. Not every patron is a kind one. Not every patron takes no.
Not every patron is a chatty one.
Got it. Yes. Well, sorry. You came for what you came for. You got it. I just feel like you can't leave. You can't walk in and tell me this and just go.
Do you want to talk?
No, I want to do a little ballroom dance. Yes, I want to talk.
Good, because my ballroom dance is terrible.
I'll work on that.
Well, I think maybe Stong thinks to the group chat to Ilya and Artemisia, maybe we should give them their space.
Yeah.
Now's the time to go and sample the local treats, maybe. Ilya, what do you think?
I would love to eat something. Preferably something I've never eaten before. Which shouldn't be hard. I've only been to a few places. So no Rashami restaurants, no West Star restaurants, and no roadside crap restaurants.
Yeah, well, let's go. It'll be my treat.
Right, so you guys go ahead and go. And leaving Florin and his father to have some awkward conversations. And hopefully, some kind of a relationship. You get the feeling, Florin, that while Lorcan is not what you pictured, he is genuine in the fact that he's interested in knowing you. It's not going to be tidy. But it wasn't going to be tidy when it was, the demon lord of your dreams, for sure. And he's like, I don't have any wine. I don't know if you know this. I can't get drunk. But
That sucks.
There
I
are
can't.
times it's the worst. I mean, there was a time where it's complicated. There was a curse. I got the devil punched out of me. I could get drunk. It was an experience. I understand why you do it. But there is a tavern down the way we could lock up and you could tell me how you kicked this other Florin's ass, because it sounds really satisfying, especially since I didn't get this opportunity.
That's fair.
Yet.
That's fair. Yeah,
I'm
that sounds
sorry
great.
I didn't know about you. If it helps, I think you might be the only one.
Well, I gotta say that first part does make me feel a bit better about a lot of things. Second part, a little sad about no half siblings. I saw how well that went earlier today, actually.
Well, not gonna lie, I hope you're the only one, because I feel like there are some women who would be very angry at me. There's just warlocks are complicated. I think going with the sword is a good choice.
Well, yeah.
It's never gonna lie to you, that's for sure. Come on. I'll buy you a drink.
Cool. Dad, That feels weird. Let's just go get a drink.
Weird, but it's a nice weird.
I'll
Just
take
don't-
nice weird.
There are very few things I could offer advice on. I just want to be super clear about that up front. And you walk out the door into Scornable and a possible new future. And I think that is where we are going to wrap up this campaign. So we are going to go for a break. We'll see you back here in 10 minutes, and then afterwards we'll chat a little bit about the campaign and what changed and what was fun and what we kind of hoped for and all this fun stuff. So cue us up for 10 minutes. We'll see you back here.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. On the slow coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get your wallet there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Welcome back.
We did it.
Remember,
Yay.
remember to enter the dice giveaway in
Yeah.
honor
Oh,
of the
yeah.
epilogues.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I first want to say thank you, Aaron, for an awesome game. That was
Thank you
fantastic.
all. I'm glad you guys had fun. This was so I think I've said this before, but the idea of this was something I came up with. I think we were in the middle of book 2 or even the end of book 1 in Westgate Irregulars, and I was running, and I have this habit when I run that like I will start thinking about projects but I can't decide what I'm going to think about, which is the annoying part. So I was supposed to be thinking about a book, and then I started thinking about this campaign idea, right? Which was very much hinging on there are all these characters that we are playing with who have these kind of these complex stories, and that there is in a lot of them this sort of crux of what I am on the outside is not fully reflecting what's going on in the inside. And wouldn't this be a fun way to do that? And I realized that I couldn't do it with new people, because starting with fresh characters, you don't have that context as the viewer. Although Florin proved me wrong there, which is great. And so I kind of filed it away as I can't do this. But when the original campaign wrapped up, I kind of was like, there's still space for this. So I asked, and we got to do it. But I wanted to do this so we could chat about how it went. We could talk about our favorite moments, and I could tell you guys the things that didn't happen.
Oh, I am very interested
Sweet.
to know that.
First things first, Original Angston, thank you so much for the gift subscriptions. Really
Ooh.
appreciate it. Or the subscription?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
gift subs.
Yeah,
Suddenly
thank you.
that sounds.
Thank you.
I'm like, I know it's gift
Yeah,
sub,
when it's
but
the
then I'm
whole
like,
word,
no,
it
it's
sounds
not
weird,
that
but it's
word.
gift subs.
And also a quick shout
yeah.
out to Monka Grey Hawk and Deckard Kane. Thank you all so much for your subs. We really appreciate
wow.
you.
Yeah.
You. Yeah. So one thing that I think I mentioned to a couple of you in the middle that changed early on, actually changed with Caliph, is that when I originally thought of this, what you were going to find out is that all of the shadows are actually demons. When Ilya told you they might rip your face off, yeah, that was going to be what happened when they could tell you were them. Hello, Raiders.
Welcome,
We're doing
welcome.
a kind of after show chat about our campaign that we just wrapped up.
Yeah.
So the thing that happened, though, there's two things that happened. The first one is that you guys loved Ilya. And at first I was like, great.
I
it's
love
gonna-
Ilya
it's
so
gonna
much.
kill you when he turns on you, because he was gonna be the villain of the whole thing.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
very
Right?
different.
And but actually, so there were times early on where I was like, you're gonna clock him. You're gonna clock him, and what am I gonna do? I had plans. I had plans for that. But actually, what happened was that when Kalis left, Emily said, I want to bring Boneclaw Aiden with me because I have Book Aiden and he's incomplete. And here's Boneclaw Aiden and he's incomplete. And can I help them? Can I help them come together? And she took Boneclaw Aiden with her. Right. And I was like, I love this so much. I was like, yeah, let's do it. This is narratively so satisfying. Like, here are these two iterations of this person who trusted you, like way, way more. And who you helped do something, you know, with Book Aiden, like she helped him do that.
Yeah.
And kind of felt bad about it. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh shit. If that's a demon, I've just destroyed that beautiful connection. So I sat and thought about it. And actually that was the point where I was like, okay, and you guys started like, Trevor, you said several times like, oh, I love Ilya. And I was like, it's going to feel good in turns. It's going to feel like you're not going to be surprised. You're going to be tricked. And I don't like it, which is when I decided that Lorcan's shadow should show up and he could be the bad guy. He could be the one that did the shitty thing.
Great
because
choice.
it wasn't going to feel good. Right. And that also let me make Ilya into a more sort of, actually the other part was that I was still waffling on it. And then Stong and Artemisia went and made friends with Ilya. I was like, well, that's the thing that fixed Cecilia is having friends. So even if he had this in him to betray you, shit, he can't do it now. Okay, this isn't going to happen. So that was the big one, right? That was the big pivot, was that I thought, first of all, that you were not going to care about this plane. It was going to turn out the whole plane was against you. And that Ilya was going to turn on you ultimately. And because of those decisions, and because I watched you guys care about what happened to these people, because they were reflections of you, because they were like, you saw more in them. And I was like, I can't just be like, no, actually none of them matter. Let it burn down. That's not rewarding what you're putting into this. So it pivoted very early.
That's
Can
wild.
I ask you about so when we went upstairs and looked through Ilya's stuff, like his storage closet, was there any greater plot for that?
So the main reason I put that there was to give you a hook for how to find Stong number 1.
I see.
But it was not meant to be because actually that was the point I had decided Ilya wasn't going to be a bad guy. But that was the main thing. There was a whole like set of encounters because I thought you guys were going to look for it. And so there was like a mimic and there was like just a bunch of little junky monsters in there. And they're like, Mitzi, go find a thing. And I'm like, well, I don't need these anymore. Okay. Yeah, so that was the biggest one. That was the big pivot. And then the other
Sure,
one
use
was
mimic.
Right. It's still there somewhere, I'm sure. There was another one where, you know, when we got towards the end, Stephen mentioned to me that he didn't want to do sort of a big separate arc for Sturge, that this wasn't really his comfort zone. So at that point, that was when I pulled Cecilia in so everything could escalate. Because really what I had expected to happen was that you guys would want to sort of leave this place, and in leaving this place you would sort of pull Cecilia back out. And originally obviously Cecilia was going to go try to replace her and you'd have to go stop him. And this would be the tension of, you need to stop him and save your friend, you need to like stop this plane from birthing this demon lord and devouring the main plane. And none of this, right? None of this works. But here's this other thing, is like, we need to keep it moving. So, okay, fine. Lorcan's going to like pull the jerk ass ripcord. And then we can speed along. So those I think are the two big ones. And then the last thing that you missed, because this is a little my fault, because I'm like, what do you want Cecilia to do? And you're like, banish the tentacles. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Those tentacles were attached to the entity that was the Rising Prince. This like horrible demonic atropal was going to pull itself through the wall, and then you'd have to fight it. And if somebody had decided to make it a Tarask, I was going to just merge the two. It's going to be a demonic atropal, a Tarask, and then they're like, banish the tentacles. I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. And then I was like, all Pale Knight has to do is make Cecilia drop her concentration or kill her. and I couldn't do it. And I was just like,
Nice.
oh, but this was all very much above board and fair because yeah, you guys did it. You figured out what to do. Even if you did not know the full ramifications of doing that thing.
We saw it on your face. We felt it. We felt
Yeah.
We knew there was something.
it.
So
did
yeah,
good.
I wonder for you guys in going through this, right? This was a campaign that relied a lot on you sort of bringing your characters forward, putting a lot of investment into those. Were there things that changed about your understanding of the character as you did that? Like, did you kind of get a new twist on them? Did you think of something different as you were sort of faced with this presentation of their lie? Or, did you feel like you had like, oh no, I knew from the start, I got to where I was hoping I would get? What was that like?
I
I
don't.
was-
Oh, good.
Well, I was actually thinking about Mia Wolf
Mhm.
and like how it sort of shifted over time, because I hadn't really had in my head anything in particular that I was doing with Mia Wolf. I was trying to use both her and Mitzi sparingly because they're kind of silly, and I didn't want to like put the silly tone onto some other tone that we wanted to have. And Mia Wolf is just like fun. So, it's like sugary snacks, like not too much of it. But at one point, Florin was more interested in interacting with Artemisia, the half elf, than Mia Wolf. And like where Mia was at that point was like, okay, we're staying half elf. But then we had that moment with the two wolves, which was amazing.
That was a fun scene.
And I think like I had been thinking like it would be interesting to show Mia Wolf and Mia like integrating a bit, but I think that's a long-term thing. And so I think like showing that she can interact with Florin on that level sometimes, like with the two wolves together, was sort of showing it's a step in Artemisia not completely discounting the wolf side of herself.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with where that went, and it was unexpected. I sort of didn't come in knowing what I wanted to do with Mia Wolf.
That was one thing I really liked. So I did a tie-in short story because making Cecilia confront her shadow as part of this game would have been insane. But I wanted to do it. But I talked to Rhiannon about Artemisia's dialogue and what she would say, and coming to that point where you had Mia sort of refer to Mia Wolf as a separate person and then correct herself and be like, it's me, right? Like, oh, the wolf likes it. Wait, I like him, right? And I really liked that for like bringing her along that path, because I do feel like, it was very, very implied by your actions, right? That she's sort of realizing that's part of her and in her. It's not like, oh, it's this little bucket I dumped my silly into.
I don't think I like really knew. I don't think I went into this with an expectation for Florin. Like I knew going in, behind the scenes stuff. Like you and I had talked for quite a while about Florin and his backstory, and like Aaron, I got to, I absolutely loved that so much. Like getting to like work with you of like who the character was, and you pulling in Forgotten Realms lore and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, when you were just like, what if Lorcan was his dad? I was like,
I mean, thing I said is, Trevor, oh no, I have the worst, best idea.
And I was like, holy crap. I mean, if you are okay with that, yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. I'm like, hey, I got a character who's related to like a canon character. Ha! And
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, but like at the same time though, like Rain and I had talked before the game of like, okay, so these characters are going to have a relationship, and like so figuring out what we wanted that to be but also leaving as like we're not planning it out
Yeah.
completely, but like we're going in with that mindset. And so I think I was more in the moment in this game of like I wasn't really thinking ahead of where I wanted Florin to go, and except for when we got to Shadow Florin, like that was the one. I think that's really the set of games where like I was thinking about like, okay, what am I going to have him do next time? What am I trying to do in this game to set up the next one and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, from like the get-go surprised me in every single way, because like, yeah, we had been like, oh yeah, what if Lorcan is your dad? I didn't think that meant Lorcan was going to show up in the game. didn't think that didn't think that at all. And
I also loved that you did not know your shadow was going to be the Xanathar.
no, I did not.
And I love that moment where it dawned on your face. Like it was great. It was great. You're like, oh my god. Similar moment when you were the first one to recognize the Elder Brain Dragon.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I may or may not have specifically set things up just so that we would get hit with that breath weapon because I knew what it was. Like, oh, this breath weapon's gotta go off. I love this thing.
So gross.
I guess I'll add, like, just I loved your use of the portal spell, like, throughout this, and then also I loved how it was Florin who was the one who ended up using the crown of Sirius.
And that was not planned at all. Like, that was just...
It was great.
I was like, oh, I got spells looking at me up there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say, just for that last encounter, like often I think you know, especially when you are when you're well versed in another medium, right? Like I write novels, I know what a novel's shaped like, and I know how to make that shape. And this is not a novel, right?
Yeah.
So, but sometimes there will be times where I'm like, oh, if this were a novel, this is how it would go off. And I have to sort of set that aside. But I loved going in that last scene. Any one of you could have been the one to grab hold of the crown, and it would have been very satisfying. And so I really do love that Florin did it, and that sort of the framing around Florin feeling like, well, I lie constantly, and this is not necessarily a great thing about me, but maybe it is. And sort of the inherent sort of sacrifice in making this attempt that anybody would have. Like I really love how it came together, but I also appreciated going in where I was like, oh, anybody could do this and it might work. It's actually gonna be great. So, there was no, oh, it could have been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so going into this, I think I built Stong to be a very like optimistic character, and he doesn't, he's kind of sort of like the ultimate like fake it till you make it. So I got really in my head about like what lies are philosophically versus like maybe what hopes are, versus like how much of it is a lie if you are like trying your best to live up to something, but you may fall a little bit short in other people's eyes. Like, what is objectively a lie versus subjectively, like, yeah. But anyways, that is to say that I tend to play a little more like improvisational or like flexible. So, I had long talks with Erin, gave her a bunch of options, and bless her, she did a wonderful job threading the needle.
Saying it because I sang a song.
Hey, you know what? Like, your Stong impression was amazing. Like,
Yes.
That means a lot.
Stong talking to Stong was like one of my favorite role-playing experiences I've ever had in my life. So, thank you for that, and thank you for making that happen. You really brought it. I felt like you're always like very like giving and generous, even though like I know you have certain storytelling sensibilities or certain ways that you like to do things, and like stepping out of that comfort zone isn't easy. And I thought you did it. Thank you for doing that, and you did it really well. So I always appreciate that.
My general hope was that having because each character got their own space, that coming into those, it was easier to meet the desires and needs of each player. It's just a question of sort of trusting each other. Like, I know you're a
Mhm.
really excellent improver, so I did not plan a lot of stuff because I knew, it was, you were going to be able to fill that space. And for I actually really love what you ended up doing with Stong, because this was a problem early on when I revealed like that your shadow is based on your greatest lie, and you're like, Stong doesn't lie, and I'm like, everybody lies. It might sound a little in character, but I'm like, there's something that he's telling himself that is not objectively true. So what is it, right? But when you came to that idea of like, this is it, is it a lie, or is it hope, right? I think that was a really beautiful counterpoint, right? And that gave us a lot of additional texture, right? Because if everything was exactly the same, I don't think it would be. I think it drew out the differences to have something that was that distinct. So
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
I think part of Stong's takeaway from this is that like, oh, he can actually have success with being like whoever the heck that he like defines himself to be. Because I think that part of him tries really hard, but is more doesn't know. He doesn't actually know, and and I think that part of his greater overall theme is trying to like pass that down to Mirabelle, and like giving her sort of that choice, that foundation that he never had, and that even though she's born as something, she doesn't necessarily have to go that way, or even be afraid to go and give into some of her devilish side, if it
Mhm.
isn't in the appropriate circumstances. So
Oh, I have a question for you about Stong, actually.
yes.
Do you think Stong will tell Mirabelle the truth about Glasia?
Stong 1, or like Stong,
Yeah,
original Stong.
yeah, original Stong.
Yeah, so it's really funny that you said that, because in the last scene when you asked me like, is there anything you want to say to Shiny, or whatever else you want to do, I was like, yes, but it's gonna take up way too much time, and I think we already had so much of it. But I think the very next, like, it's gonna weigh heavily on his mind. Like,
Yeah.
how does he talk to her about Glazia? Does he need to, or like, should he just trust her? Because I think at some point in life, we all realize that if we just prepare our friends, our children, etc., um, the right way, with like, and give them the right tools and the right outlook, that's all they need. You don't have to forbid them from doing anything. You don't have to guide their actions directly. So, he's kind of debating right now, like, what do I need to do?
Mhm. That will be an interesting dynamic. Okay,
or a tie-in story.
Right, yeah.
it's true. So we are kind of running down to the end of our episode here. So I am curious if there are any particular moments in the campaign that you were proud of, that you were amused by, anything you want to shout out.
In terms of like things we didn't cover yet, I think like Mia throwing a cake in Shadow Mia is great.
Love that. I think my favorite moment from Mia's section was doing all the wizard gossip.
Ooh.
That, or the children revealing themselves, was pretty satisfying.
That was pretty good.
But the wizard gossip was very atmospheric.
Oh, good.
I was going to say, first is the wolf. Second, is actually not in character. It's out of character. But where Artemisia was playing footsie with Florence Tail, and Trevor was like, "Oh, she activated her trap card," and I was like, "Yeah, she kind of did."
Oh, jeez. I mean, the cat's conversation with Sturge. That was it was so hard for me to hold that together during
That was
that.
so
That was
good.
one of the funniest damn things. Shout out to
I
Steven.
love that.
That was so
that, I
note
mean,
perfect from Sturge too.
Yeah.
That was great. That was so fun. Yeah,
Mm.
I feel like everybody did such a good job with their sort of peak character moments, right? Like like I loved playing Shadow Florin opposite you and just like that battle of wits that neither of us was admitting to, right? That was very there was such good energy, and I loved doing the duet.
The
Bard,
really
improvisation
good.
duet.
That was really good.
Yes.
So just
I-
FYI, we don't plan any of these songs or
No.
anything. We're not like, hey, we're gonna sing a song during this episode. This is the theme of it or
No.
anything like that. It just happens. So that was great.
Yeah, I really did overcome my fear of the on the spot rhyming for you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, I
Oh.
love doing the no?
I do want to say I love the maze you put together.
I'm
No.
so
like-
pleased that went well.
Well, both the
Genuinely.
first one that we did and the last one that we did.
Oh,
like-
that's right. I forgot Caleb had a maze too.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
just like sped through. Like
Yeah.
you got it. You got it right off. That was great.
That was super fun.
Yeah, the
I have-
hypercube, almost hypercube maze.
I have
was,
shown off those notes to so many of my friends. I'm like, this is what I ended up doing for my friend's
Oh.
freaking thing. It was awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, some of the
Yeah, I lo-
viewers are calling out some great moments too. I don't know if you
Oh.
have been reading chat.
Mm.
Yeah,
No, I
Song
haven't.
and Sturge of the Wingmen from Hell. Always
Oh.
a pleasure.
We had
Always.
we always have a great time with that with
pleasure.
Artemisia. We also had a great time roasting Florin. Again, not planned. It's just
No.
happened that way.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I enjoyed every minute of that.
It says, I very much enjoyed Cecilia calling out Sturge on his lie about being a god after so long of him going on about it last campaign. That was very entertaining. Yeah. It was good times.
Yeah, this was a great campaign. Thank you.
I'm glad.
Mhm. Yeah, so Rumpus Imperator asks, can you give us a teaser for what's coming up next?
Well, we do have a new campaign. I don't remember how to say Jake's last name.
Hubst, I think.
Hubsch.
Hubst. Jake Hubst is going to run a campaign for us, and then Steven is going to run his Affairs of Wizards campaign after that. And then the loose plan is that I will run another campaign, perhaps starting in the summer, which will be new characters, but it will pick up one of the lingering questions from this campaign. Maybe you can guess, maybe you can't. But I
Will
think
Florin
it'll
and
be
his
fun.
dad play catch?
It's just like father-son adventuring.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a little preview for Jake's campaign.
You-
Also, whenever you're done. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, it's you and Lorcan. It's Stong and Scaris. And Mirabelle is
Oh
mad
my god.
because she wants to go. And what do you have other father-son pairs we could throw in this mix?
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know.
sure.
But yeah, you're the only adult. That's what makes this very entertaining. Florin, you're the only adult son in this father-son adventuring.
Love it.
thing.
Love
But the
it.
prize is really sweet. Lorcan's like, we could kick these kids' asses. All right.
Yeah, so real quick, Jake's campaign is going to be called Villains Wanted, and it is going to be based on the notion that in the realms, all the heroes are so successful that all the villains have been wiped out, and now there's just like way too many heroes. You know, there's not enough jobs for them to do, and they're starting to like really turn to the other side a little. And so there is a mysterious organization that rises up to provide villains for hire who are secretly high level heroes or like, you know, more veteran heroes. and we, the players, will be playing those villains or heroes pretending to be villains for lower level heroes.
So we're level 10, and so when this party of like level 2s comes at us, we have to make sure they don't die by accident. Like either by our spells or like tripping and falling and like
Oh
the-
my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun.
It's gonna be a good time. So watch for that in an upcoming Wednesday soon. If not next week, then the week after.
Well, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, we hope you guys come back for what we have coming up. But I think that's where we're going to end tonight. So thank you again for coming along with us on this journey beyond the pale door into our darkest secrets. Thank you guys again for making this campaign come together in such a just exciting and satisfying way. It was really everything I could have possibly hoped for when I dreamed it up all that time ago. Thank you, Monk of Greyhawk. We appreciate it. Those gift subs are
Thank you.
such a joy. Thank you. I'm Erin M. Evans. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Erin M. Evans. You can listen to my podcast with Trevor and B. Dave Walters, writing about dragons and shit, which a new episode came out today, and a new area of the Discord opened up for Tangerinos. If you know, you know. So come and check it out if you haven't already. You can join me on this channel on Mondays at 1:30 p.m. Pacific for Concentration Check, co-writing space. Yang Yang's not going to be here for a little bit, so I've got guests lined up. My first guest, you know him, you love him, it's Trevor Bettis.
Hey,
It's me.
Join us
Trevor
on
number
Monday. Some work done. And you can pick up my book, Empire of Exiles, at all fine bookstores, and pre-order the sequel, Relics of Ruin, which comes out in less than 2 months. I realized today. I said 2 months. It's less than.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow!
No, it's
Countdown.
moving towards us. Pre-order, please. It helps. It helps. Okay. And again, thank you for your subscriptions. We really appreciate it.
I've been Rhiannon Held. Check out my books, my Silver series of anthropological werewolves, urban fantasy. And then under RZ Held, I have a novella series of space opera. So novellas, little bite size, you can try them out. I'll put a link in the chat. It's got snarky AI and emotional support cats and all kinds of cool stuff. And tonight, thank you to our moderators, Celdrine, Rumpus Imperator, Myrdug, and Eric, acting as a moderator. And don't forget to enter our giveaway. There is still time. Type in !ticket for 1 set of Phoenix dice, really cool dice, shipped anywhere in the world.
Yeah, so we'll close that after the end of the outro. So hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Yang Yang Wang. Please join us on our Discord. And also, quick shout out to Meyer Doug. Thank you so much for the bits. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so please join us on our Discord. We have both the community of WADs that recently joined us, as well as a number of events that we're starting to open up, such as the PowerPoint parties or movie night. We recently just had an event where, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say we're trying to convince Trevor to do a PowerPoint about Star Wars lore that makes him angry. So I'm gonna convince Trevor to do that because I want to see it.
Yeah, we want to hear his rant about the Yuuzhan Vong. Hit us with it, Trevor. The people demand it.
Maybe not that one, but we'll see.
So, drop an !! Discord into the chat for a link to join. We'd love to have you.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Hey, I'm Trevor Bettis. You can find me on Writing About Dragons Shit with Aaron. I am also in the Dungeon Scrollers Discord in the Tangerino section and all the other sections. I hang around. I'm there. But you can find me on all the dystopian social medias at the Trevor. There's an A hiding in there. I just want to say one more time, I love playing this game with y'all. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I got to play Florin and be with all y'all cool people. So thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to close the giveaway, and I'm going to draw a winner in 3, 2, 1. It is Roram. Congratulations!
Congratulations!
I'll DM you with some instructions about how to redeem prize.
Heck yeah.
Well, until next time, may your word counts and your rolls be equally high.
Thank